Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network.
Off a screen, Basil, 2 seconds. Basil for the win! Yeah! We're going to the NCAA tournament!
And it's a called strike three over the inside corner, and Bakersfield has done it. They win the WAC championship.
And over to Sydney Haynes off the block, and the Roadrunners win
Live
it.
from downtown Bakersfield, California, here's the voice of the Runners, Corey Costello.
Welcome in once again to Roadrunner Rundown. Glad to be back in studio. Thanks so much for everybody last week joining us and for our on-campus broadcast as we sort of had a special game day edition in front of the CSUB Student Union prior to the Roadrunners dismantling Fresno State as well on Tuesday night. That was awesome. So thanks so much for all those of you that were there and checked us out online as well. And we are back in studio for this edition of Roadrunner Rundown. Good show planned for you today. We're going to be speaking with women's basketball head coach Greg McCall. Runners off to a bit of a rough start, but they've got a big game coming up on Thursday as number 11 Stanford comes to the Icardo Center. And, of course, Greg McCall will get a chance to coach against his daughter Erica for one final time. Erica also a Bakersfield product, and she will be playing her final game in her hometown as she's in her senior season at Stanford. But we'll talk to him about that a little bit as well. Roadrunners also with some more manageable games coming up on their schedule after a very tough preseason schedule, coming off a loss against a team from South Dakota that won the WNIT a year ago, had some Pac-12 opponents mixed in there, and of course Stanford. So we'll talk with him about his schedule sort of leveling out a little bit here in the next few weeks as they get ready for conference play. So we have Greg McCall coming on the program, and we'll talk some wrestling. Coleman Hammond will join us. The Roadrunner wrestling team had a weekend off, but they get ready for that sort of important tournament time of their schedule as they get into the month of December. They'll be at the Cliff Keen Invitational this weekend in Las Vegas. Some of the best in the country will be out there. Coleman Hammond off to an 8-0 start for the Roadrunners at 149 pounds, and so we'll talk with him about his seasons thus far. And the Roadrunners off to a pretty good start, 2-1 in their dual competition. Their one loss came to 10th-ranked Rutgers, and they almost upset them. So good start for CSUB Wrestling. Coleman Hammond will join us a little bit later on the program as well. But got some highlights and scores to get to. We will go and take you now to Dayton, Ohio, where we were at this past weekend. Men's basketball and the Men Against Breast Cancer Classic. First game against Wright State coming down to the final minutes. That's Mark Allstork. Came in as the nation's leading scorer, 30 points a game. He hits a big three-pointer. And then Wright State able to get a little separation late as, again, Allstork on the right side three, and that would put them up, and they end up winning that one 68-64. Runners bouncing back, though. Saturday night against North Florida, Damian Durham on fire early. He hit his first three-pointers. He also spread the love a little bit to Dedrick Basil. He had 16 in the game, one of the floaters there. And then once again, here's Jalen Arrington coming off a slow night against Wright State. Great night with 16 against North Florida. Brent Rapp then going to feed Dedrick Basil. Roadrunners offense was rolling in that one. As again, Arrington, the floater, he had 16 for the Roadrunners in the victory. And then Bakersfield's defense, tremendous. 10 steals in the game. There's Tajay Moore with the steal and the finish. And the Roadrunners win that one by 23. Then on Sunday, it was all Bakersfield early against North Dakota. Jalen Arrington with the dunk. Here's Brent Rapp. He goes glass. He had 12 in the game. And also Matt Smith had a phenomenal career-high 12 points for Matt Smith. But then things started to turn a little bit for CSUB. Final minutes, Runners just couldn't seem to find a bucket. This will be one of their final field goals, a three-pointer from Dedrick Basil in the second half. And then North Dakota sort of starts to take over a drive here, and they start chipping away. It was once a 17-point lead, and the final few minutes for the Roadrunners were tough. This right here would be their last field goal as Brent Rapp goes to the glass, and then the final 5.5 minutes, it was all North Dakota. Here's the buzzer beater, Connor Avance at the buzzer off the putback. North Dakota wins it on a 16-0 run to end the game as they beat CSUB 57-55, so the Roadrunners go 1-2 at the Wright State tournament. The Runners got the big win on Saturday night, though. They played tremendous against defending A-Sun champion North Florida. Roadrunners won that one 73-54. Jalen Arrington, 18 points in that ball game. And then on the Friday night game, first game of that tournament, as we mentioned, Runners falling to Wright State 68-64. Damian Durham had 28 points in that game, and that was close to his career high of 30, which he had against UC Santa Barbara. He was named to the all-tournament team, the lone representative for the Roadrunners in that one. So that was Bakersfield's schedule. Here's what's coming up for the Roadrunners. They have one home game this week. That'll be Wednesday as they take on Pacific Union, 7 p.m. at the Icardo Center. The Roadrunners will then go on the road, another long road trip. They will be taking on SMU in Dallas. That'll be Friday at 7 o'clock Central Time. That game also available online on ESPN3.com. And then they'll stay on the road because Monday night, the Roadrunners will take on Northern Arizona in Flagstaff. That'll be a 5:30 Pacific time, 6:30 Mountain PM tip-off from Flagstaff for the Roadrunners with a couple tough games, but 3 games coming up in the next 6 days or so for CSUB as they enter this week at 4-3. Let's check out CSUB women's basketball. The Roadrunners were at home and had a tough game against, again, defending WNIT tournament champion South Dakota. 75-60, South Dakota with the victory. Addie Walters, 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point range in that game, but the Roadrunners dropped to 1-4 on the season. Here's what's coming up for CSUB. They have 2 games this week, and again, going to be a tough one for the Roadrunners. Thursday night, they host number 11 Stanford at the Icardo Center at 7 p.m. That game available on the WAC Digital Network, and then they will be on the road Sunday at Pacific at 2 p.m. as the Roadrunners will look to get back onto their winning ways as they get closer. I think past Stanford, I think they're done with their very super tough preseason games against Pac-12 teams, and then they'll sort of be leveling out and ready to go for the upcoming WAC season, which will start in January. Want to make a note as well that CSUB Wrestling, as we pointed out, will be at the Cliff King Invitational this weekend in Las Vegas. And then also CSUB Baseball, the schedule was released, and you can go online to GoRunners.com and check out the baseball schedule. An 11-game homestand starting February 17th for the Roadrunners, and we will be getting Bob Macaluso, the head coach, on the program here in the coming weeks to talk about that. But defending Pac-12 champion Utah will start the Roadrunners season at Hart Field. And a good schedule, though, for Bakersfield. They got a few midweek games against teams like Nebraska, UC Santa Barbara, and so on. And then they got some good weekend series to start the season. They'll also be going to Creighton to start the year in Omaha as well, first couple of weeks of the year. But 11 games to start the season for the Runners. You can check that out on the baseball page at GoRunners.com. And just announced this morning, the Hot Stove Dinner speaker for the 4th annual CSUB Baseball Hot Stove Dinner will be Nationals manager Dusty Baker, the 3-time NL Manager of the Year, former manager of the San Francisco Giants, former world champion as a player with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1981. He won a Gold Glove. He appeared in a couple All-Star games. So Dusty Baker will be in Bakersfield January 17th, 2017 as part of the 4th annual CSUB Baseball Hot Stove Dinner. Check it out, GoRunners.com. All the information for tickets. Individual tickets are $100, but the seating is limited to just 500 in that venue, so it sells out every year. So this is your opportunity, maybe even a good Christmas present right now. Think about somebody who is a Dodger fan. Maybe they were a Giants fan. I mean, Dusty Baker led the Giants to the 2002 World Series and 3 division championships. He won all his Manager of the Year awards when he was skipper of the Giants, so maybe they want to go see Dusty. Maybe they're a Dodger fan and they remember him when he was a player. We've got all those. It's a good gift item. And again, GoRunners.com. You can check it out. $100 for the individual tickets. We have table sponsorships of 10 tickets per table. That's $1,000. And you can also be a diamond level sponsor, which is $2,500. That'll get you two tables of 10, so 20 total tickets and a bunch of sponsor recognition as well as a special gift from CSUB Baseball. So that's coming up on January 17th. And again, Dusty Baker, the current manager of the Washington Nationals who won the NL East pennant, will be joining us here in Bakersfield for that one. So pretty cool to get a manager like Dusty Baker, and he joins a really great list of in the short history of the CSUB Baseball Hot Stove Dinner. Tommy Lasorda last year, Mike Scioscia the year before, Tommy John back in 2013. So adding Dusty Baker to that list, and again, that'll be January 17th at the Kern County Fairgrounds. So more information on that is available online at GoRunners.com. Still to come on the program, I'm going to talk with Coleman Hammond, CSUB wrestler. He's off to an 8-0 start at 149 pounds as a junior. We'll talk with him about the upcoming Cliff King Invitational as well as his sort of wrestling lineage. He's a third generation, or basically a third in his family, I should say, to wrestle at CSUB. His brother and his father both wrestled for the Roadrunners, so we'll talk with him about that. And also coming up next, we got some women's basketball stuff to talk with. Head coach Greg McCall will join us. We'll preview the game against Stanford at home on Thursday, as well as Pacific on Sunday as well on the road in Stockton. So stick around for that. We'll be right back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Basil, 2 seconds.
What shall I do to put myself by your side? What shall I do to put myself along by your side?
We're Kern County, and we have a lot in which to be proud. We connect California, power the nation, and confidently charge towards our short and long-term goals. We work hard to make our county a great place to live, learn, and dream. And anyone who calls Kern County home can help make our community stronger, schools better, and futures brighter. Together, let's turn more local dreams into realities so we can make life as it should be. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
We strive to achieve excellence through determination and hard work.
We are committed to learning from those around us,
Our professors and peers.
Our coaches and teammates.
And our opponents.
We compete with integrity and passion.
And we seize our moment when the opportunity arises.
We take pride in our communities.
And believe that we can inspire others
just as they can inspire us.
We may wear different colors, but we share the same purpose.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are
the Western Athletic Conference.
Basil, 2 seconds. Basil for the win!
CSU Bakersfield, champions made here.
What a moment!
Thursdays at 10 a.m., it's Open Up. Host Tina Miller shares the stories that make an impact on our community. Open Up is your forum to tell it like it is. It's Open Up, Thursdays at 10 a.m. on Bakersfield.com.
You know, I was the Metro columnist in the Bakersfield, Californian for 10 years, and one of the recurring themes in my writing was sort of the self-analysis of Bakersfield. Who are we? Who are these people? Where do they come from? What kind of people are they? My interest in the Bakersfield sound is kind of connected to that because we are those people. We are the people who created that music. We are the people who enjoyed that music, who bought those records. Because it spoke to us in a certain way, it sort of reflected who we are. Read this book and kind of, you get a feel for, you know, who we are.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. Still to come on the program, Greg McCall will join us, CSUB women's basketball coach. We decided to flip-flop and switch some things on some segments today so we could get Coleman Hammond on the program to get going. A CSUB wrestler, Redshirt-junior, 149 pounds. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the program. How are you?
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
How was the holiday for you? I know the holidays suck for wrestlers because you guys can't really eat, and you're a 149-pound guy, so I don't know. How was Thanksgiving? Did you get to do anything, enjoy anything?
You know what? I did enjoy it, probably a little bit too much. I had probably 4 Thanksgivings because I just got married last summer.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's a lot of family now. Yeah, so extra weight cutting had to go on.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It's always the worst because that's always like probably the busiest. They say the busiest day of the year is like Black Friday shopping, but actually probably Fridays in the wrestling rooms following Thanksgiving are probably one of the busier days of the year.
Oh, yeah. I know. I got to run in on Thursday.
Okay.
Excuse me.
No problem. So you able to cut a little bit on Thursday then?
Yeah.
All right. Good. And anyway, thanks for joining us. Good start to the year, man. 8-0 to start the season. You got a Roadrunner Open title as well. So are you kind of happy the way with the way you wrestled so far?
Yeah. I mean, I can't complain. I know I was in the room working out with Coach Rivera this morning, and there's a lot of things to work out because just college season's so tough and it's a long 5 months. Mm-hmm. And if you're not improving, you're just backpedaling. So there's a lot to go off of.
The team's been very competitive as well early on. I mean, you guys are the one dual loss coming to a very good Rutgers team. They were nationally ranked. They barely beat you. Yeah. Has this team kind of surprised you? Because a lot of folks thought coming in, oh, this is a very young squad, but you guys got some really talented guys and so far have wrestled very well.
Yeah, we do. I know this summer, Coach Rivera is telling us, it's not a rebuilding year. And he's totally right. And all the young guys have totally bought in. I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with Russell Rolfing. He's our 141 pounder. He's a redshirt freshman. Man, the guy's good, and he competes, and he wears guys down. He's wrestling a 2-time All-American versus Rutgers, and he got beat up the first period, just beat up. But man, the second, third period, he just owned the guy. Got 2 takedowns, and that just doesn't happen a lot to that kid. It's impressive.
Nice, and it is a young team, but there are some veterans, and you kind of being one of them. What's the dynamic like for this team? Has it changed at all, or is it sort of just business as usual?
I mean, anytime you have 4 guys graduate that are NCAA qualifiers, it's gonna be a change, and it's just there's no getting over that. But the easy transition comes when guys like me, Matt Williams, and some of the other guys we've had who've been around for a while just step up and are able to lead. And Matt's a natural leader; he does a good job with that. So I don't think we had a problem with lack of leadership this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that, I mean, yourself, Matt Williams, are those kind of the guys? Is there maybe a few others that the younger guys are looking up to because they've been in the program so long?
Yeah, it just we reload every year. It's just the tradition that we're trying to keep going. And Coach Rivera has done a good job, and having Coach Boyle here now, he's been great for our lightweights, and you could tell Sean Nichols been wrestling really well. I think he's undefeated, 7-0 maybe, something like that. So it just shows that. If you have good coaching staff, they can keep it rolling.
I was going to kind of ask you that next. I mean, Coach Rivera comes in over the summer. What has he sort of brought to the team? I mean, what are the workouts like during with him at the helm? How has he helped you? How has he helped others?
It's different for me than it is maybe a lot of other guys because, I mean, I had a great relationship with Mike Mendoza. So it's actually been a really easy transition for me, which is weird because I thought it would be totally just, totally different. But
Right.
I've liked the new perspective, and it's kind of been refreshing to me. I mean, I've been in the program this is my 4th year. So it's kind of easy to, just go through the motions and things like that, where I think Coach Rivera coming in here and, doing a little bit of different training has been good for us. And, I mean, it shows. It's been great.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like also with him, and you also brought up Coach Boyle as lighter weight wrestlers themselves. I mean, how has that sort of helped you guys in the lower weights?
Well, they're both young. Coach Rivera, I think, is 32, and I'm not sure how Coach Boyle is, maybe 26 or something like that. But I mean, they're competing every day with us, so it just adds an extra dynamic where we haven't really had in the past. So it's been good because everybody wants to get a little piece of them, and they're tenacious with us too. So it's good.
Nice. You were 23-15 last season as a redshirt sophomore, 4th in the Pac-12, earned an at-large bid to the NCAA Nationals. You were 2-2. What do you think about last season as a whole and as another step in your college journey?
Last year, I think I kind of hit my stride midway through the year. I started maybe a little bit rough, but I was wrestling well. Lost to some good guys. But I think by the time I got to the NCAA tournament, I had been there since, I was young, just going in watching. I watched my brother All-American back in, I think it was 2013 maybe. I watched it. So I'd been there before, and it's just wrestling hard, and it's nothing really different. I know a lot of guys get overwhelmed with it, but I had the right training. My dad put me in the right position throughout my career, and I'd watched my brother do it, and I was like, I'm competitive with my brother. I was like, I can do this.
Yeah,
I got to do better than him. So
what was nationals like? I mean, you're wrestling at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Obviously, just the history in that place. You had your brother there as well. You won a couple matches. I mean, did you get a chance to kind of take that experience in, or even maybe after it was over, and realize just how far you had come and what how big the situation truly was?
Yeah, I don't think I really realized just the importance of it until I was in my last match, and I look over at my coach. He's probably, I don't know, 3 feet away from me, and he's talking, and I can't hear a word he's saying. It was so loud in there. Wow. And it was just intense, and I just thrived off of it. And I think it's fueling me to this year too, because all summer I've been thinking about just that energy you get from being in that room. And then unfortunately I didn't get to wrestle the 3rd day, but I just took in the medal rounds, and after that we walked around and ate, and it was a nice experience. I wish I would have done less eating and more wrestling though.
Right. So after last season, where are your goals at for this year? I mean, first maybe with Pac-12s, and then with nationals. I mean, where could you finish, and what would be a successful season for you this year?
Being on the podium. Unless I'm on the podium, it's not going to be a successful year. Before that, obviously set myself in the right position for nationals. That would be win a Pac-12 title. which I haven't been able to do yet. I finished 4th twice and finished below my seed, so that's been a little bit disappointing. But just finishing out the season is real important to me, be on that podium. And I know I can do it too. I'm in a good position, nationally ranked, where I can be seeded and be in a good spot in the bracket too.
And how important are these tournaments coming up? I mean, people probably think of them, they're preseason, but you've got Cliff Keen, you've got Midlands, all that stuff coming up, and those are weighed pretty heavily when it comes time to national seedings and stuff like that. So this time of year, I mean, although it's not your conference dual season, how important is this month of December when you're trying to look down the road at nationals?
Oh, it's so important, especially for putting yourself in the position to just qualify a spot, because it's a hard thing to do. Yeah. And you're based off of winning percentage and against D1 guys, and there's no other weekend in the year where you could hit 7 ranked guys, and that's crazy. That's just nuts. Yeah. So this tournament's really important for us. Just getting to nationals.
Sure. What have you had a week off to kind of train and recover a little bit? So as you get ready for this weekend's tournament in Las Vegas, do you know what type of guys are going to be facing them in terms of obviously the brackets and stuff got to be set, but do you know what teams are coming in and who you might be able to see in terms of nationally ranked competition?
Yeah, I don't look at that too much. I kind of just know what teams are there. I know Ohio State's there, and obviously they've got a really tough team. Yeah. I think they've been ranked 2 or something nationally all year, so obviously I'll have a good guy from there. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not going to wrestle 32 teams or 32 guys. So it's just going to be a matter of how they fall in my lap, and I'll worry about that, 5-10 minutes before the match. Sure. Other than that, it's just getting my weight down, getting it right, just getting my body ready to be performing at a high level.
About how many matches a day do they? I'm trying to remember what it normally is, but during a tournament like that.
Yeah, well, if you were to win all the way to the finals, you'd have 5. I mean, if you get picked off early, you're in a little bit of hole, but that's okay though too, because you'll probably get 8 matches, and obviously that's good too. Yeah. So yeah, you could wrestle a lot of matches. So maybe 4 a day.
Wow. And that how does this? I guess early in the year, but you guys stay in such good shape throughout the season. But that's a lot. That's a whole nother level of conditioning, isn't it?
It is. It's more of a mental thing than anything. Yeah. I know at the Roadrunner, I wrestled 5 matches, and the next day I could barely move and walk, and I didn't even wrestle 5 full matches. I wrestled 2 full matches, which is crazy. And I know some of the other younger guys that wrestled 8 matches. Wow! So it's nuts, and it's all about mental preparation just all year long, and that's what we're doing.
Wow! And that's coming up this weekend. Let's see, you come from a long line of BHS wrestling stock. You were California's first 4-time All-State California wrestler in high school. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment. What about being at BHS kind of prepared you for college wrestling?
Yeah, it's the culture. Coach Andy Varner, he just does a really good job of preparing young athletes to wrestle collegiately. We know how to cut weight. We know how to work out every day. We know how to work out in the mornings, and that says a lot too, because a lot of high school programs, they're not working out in the mornings. Yeah. And I know the big thing is teams say, oh, I've got a 2 a day. And that's just second nature, because we're doing that year around, and it's putting your mind in that place. So we start from, whatever it is. I think we have a month off in high school, or 3 weeks, something like that, after the national tournament. And we get our minds right, and then we just go back to work, because there's just so much work to be done. And if you're taking a lot of days off, it's hard to do, because that there's someone else who's going to be training. And then too is just the great workout partners you get. BHS has had some great All-Americans. Nathan Morgan, he's a 3-time All-American for Oklahoma State. Daryl Vasquez and Jake Varner, those are just guys that kind of set the way for all the young guys. And I know me and my brother Bryce, when we were young, we grew up with those guys, and we watching them, and we were like, man, I want to be at the national tournament someday. I want to be getting pins and things like that, and being an All-American. So you see how far you can go. Yeah. Being in a program like that, and it just gives you something to continually be more thirsty for every day.
And it's crazy too, because even back in the day when I had my limited wrestling career, and when this was back when, I mean, I had to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow, that
Yeah.
that long ago. But I mean, I'm wrestling in Tehachapi. We would have guys that were good wrestlers, but you knew about the time they got close to high school, all of a sudden they were going to move to Bakersfield and live in the PHS district because they wanted to wrestle there, and they ended up doing that. Now, rules have changed since then, and you can't really do that as much anymore, but I mean, what is it about the program that makes it so attractive to people to say, like, if I'm going to wrestle, I need to try to be somewhere around BHS?
It's the place to be in Bakersfield area, just because Coach Varner does such a good job of preparing everybody, and we're getting the next level technique, we're getting the next level preparation. We're doing monkey rolls every day. You're working hard. There's a lot of mentally tough guys that come out of that program, and it's just because of how well they're able to prepare their athletes. And they're doing it again too. I think they're sending 5 Division I athletes next year to colleges, which is crazy.
Right.
And I know I think we have 3 guys starting on the team right now from Bakersfield High School, and the year before we had 5, I think. Which is just nuts.
Right, absolutely.
Not a lot of programs in the country are doing that, and Bakersfield High School has figured out a way to do it year in and year out.
Yeah.
So
and it is impressive to see it happen. And you had so many high school accomplishments, but what was there one thing, and what maybe would be your best memory from your time, at BHS that between all the accolades you had in your prep career?
Probably one of the best memories I had it wasn't even a memory for myself, it was for my brother. Is when he won his first state title, and it wasn't because he was so far better than everybody. It was because he just gutted it out. He popped his rib out. He had a dislocated elbow. And it was looking, the first week of the postseason, it looked like he wasn't even going to get to wrestle. And he barely qualified each week, just forfeited down the 7th place and got to the state tournament and just gutted it out. And that was one of my best memories in high school, because I saw what he did, and I was so proud of it. And I just thought, I was like, man, if I'm ever in that situation, I hope I'm able to do the same thing. Luckily, I haven't been in that situation yet. Lord willing, that's been really nice. But that's just been a really good memory for me, and I was really proud of him being able to do that.
That's awesome. Now, your father wrestled at CSUB. Obviously, your brother Bryce wrestled at CSUB, and he was on the team with them for a little bit. So was there ever any doubt that this is where you were going to come to CSUB and wrestle? Yeah,
there was a little doubt. I went out on a trip to Missouri.
Oh, okay.
And I really liked Missouri. Just loved the program, the atmosphere they had. They just do a really good job of preparing their athletes as well. And it kind of came down to it. I went out to Missouri. I liked it a lot. But I said, you know what? If I'm going to wrestle Division I need to be next to my brother. And I need to be around my dad, because my dad has had such a big influence on us. And he's in the room every day wrestling with these guys. And I think he's about 54 now, which is crazy. But they're terrified of him because he's tough.
Yeah.
And, so I kind of went through that process, and then I just figured out, to be able to thrive, I want to compete next to my brother, and he just got such great insight. So it was another coach.
Yeah.
And it was such a personal coach too. So it was the right fit for me.
So what was it like? I mean, what was it like then growing up in a household like yours? You had your dad who was a wrestler, your brother was a wrestler. I mean, did you guys have like some kind of home mat training dungeon or something? Did you ever stop thinking about wrestling? Was it just constantly what you always did?
I think the greatest thing my dad taught me was how to prepare for wrestling, and then how to take your mind away from wrestling.
Wow.
So if we're in the room, we are fully invested in what we're doing. There's no outside distractions. We're not thinking about school. We're not thinking about, girls or whatever it may be that a high school kid thinks about. We were able to go into the room and just solely focus on getting better and getting our weight down every day. And I think that just kind of helped me too, is because the college season is so stressful.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've been able to go through it without being pretty stressed.
Right.
And my brother too, he's just such a lackadaisy guy. So we go out of the wrestling room, and it's like, hey, let's just talk about, we're predominantly Christians, and we like to talk about theology and things like that. So we dive into theology, and everyone's like, man, what are you guys talking about? And we're talking about just different things of the Bible, and it's a good way, because it just helps you stay fresh, because you will wear yourself out if you think about wrestling 24/7.
Right.
And there comes a medium where you need to think about wrestling to an extent, and how to ways to get better, which I'm thinking about my diet probably constantly, because I need to be taking in the right things and stuff like that. But there definitely is a point where you need to rest your mind.
Wow. I pictured the Hammond house like basically not instead of carpeting, you guys had wrestling mats and you drop stepped everywhere. Like you just never took your mind away from it.
Yeah, I don't think my dad's taken his own advice because he texts me all the time. Hey, this guy's doing this and we need to prepare for this. So I let him kind of take that on and he helps me prepare.
No, that's great. That's great. All right, we're gonna take a break. Come back. Got a few more questions. You good?
Good.
All right. Also still to come, Greg McCall going to join us, CSUB women's basketball head coach. We'll be back more with Coleman Hammond after this on Roadrunner Rundown.
Off the screen, Basil, 2 seconds.
A masterpiece of intelligence awaits you with technologies no car has ever offered. This is the all-new 2017 E-Class from Mercedes-Benz. This new E-Class is clearly the most technologically sophisticated vehicle developed, with innovations that enhance efficiency, safety, and comfort, including the world's first fully integral car-to-X communications, providing information well in advance of imminent danger. This new E-Class carries Mercedes-Benz tradition well into the future, and you can see the all-new 2017 E-Class today at Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Basil, 2 seconds. Basil for the win!
CSU Bakersfield, champions made here.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your laptop, tablet computer, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, any place. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
We're back on Roadrunner Rundown as Coleman Hammond is joining us on the program. 149-pounder redshirt junior, 8-0 on the season so far. Cliff King Invitational this weekend in Las Vegas. We were talking a little bit about your family growing up, and your brother Bryce wrestled at CSUB. Your dad wrestled at CSUB. What was your wrestling upbringing before BHS? Did you freestyle and stuff growing up? What age did you kind of start doing all that stuff?
Yeah, we started going to the wrestling room when I was 6. Bryce was 7, almost 8. And nothing serious. We were just kind of rolling around, messing around. My dad would work out with the high school guys. But it wasn't very serious, just kind of learning positions. And it's kind of what the Russians do. They do gymnastics till they're 9 and then they start competing. Yeah. Makes you more acrobatic and things like that. But it wasn't until I think I was 8 that my dad let us compete. And I figured out how to do a high crotch, one of the, a simple move. And I'm a lefty too, so it worked out because no one knew how to defend it. Everybody's a righty. And, it was just, we started doing freestyle. I think it started the season maybe February, things like that. And we'd wrestle till about maybe June or something like that. So we weren't wrestling too much, but we were around it. So we kind of had the idea of what was going on. So yeah, it was a good way to start.
As you start on what are looking to be your most successful collegiate years in the next couple years, I mean, are you starting to see more of those lessons from your dad, from your brother, really starting to pay off, and you think about them maybe more in your mind now as you get to a really successful level of your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably now I'm actually just starting to figure out how to really wrestle a match, which is weird because I've been wrestling for, I don't know, 16 years or something like that. But, you know, I'm just learning my pace, where I'm best in, and things like that. And that just comes with maturity too. You know, you get higher up in the podium, or the totem pole, I should say, and you just figure out how to just compete a little bit better each year. And I think now it's kind of hitting my strides.
Were there any other sports growing up, or was it just totally wrestling?
You know, I played some basketball when I was little up until 8th grade, and some flag football, and I've been this size since probably 7th grade, and just as fast too. So I was a monster out there, and everyone's like, "You got to play football," blah blah blah, and I was like, "No, you know, wrestling's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I'm going to do." And I focused on that. Right when I got to high school, I wrestled year round, and I think it's really paid off.
Nice. You know, the beauty of this sport, I mean, for my limited exposure to it, but what I enjoyed about it was the one-on-one nature. I mean, there was no if you won a match and you did what you were supposed to do, you know, you won the match. There really wasn't a team aspect involved. The team helped you get prepared, but when you got to the match, and the same thing, if you did your job, there was another teammate who didn't do his job and affected you winning. So, I mean, is that part what you enjoy as well, that one-on-one battle?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that too, because, you know, if you're on a team and maybe you don't eat the right things or stay up too late, it really doesn't affect the team.
Yeah.
But if I was to have a bad weight cut or whatever, you know, we're going to lose that match and it's going to affect the team. But not only it's going to affect the team, it's going to affect my ranking.
Yeah.
And that's huge too for the end of the season and being in the right position to All-American. So yeah, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, but I kind of thrive on that and I like it. And it's kind of the beautiful thing about wrestling.
Yeah. Now, is there a little bit of because of that one-on-one aspect, is there kind of maybe a fear step to it? Because, you know, you've got to be a little bit of fear of losing, fear of not doing as well you think you should. And how do you maybe turn that and use it to your advantage and turn it around?
The fear of losing, huh? Yeah, that's something I think a lot of guys battle with, because I don't know what it is about the human mind, but you fear losing so bad.
Yeah.
And there's a wrestler from Illinois. His name's Isaiah Martinez. He's a California guy. I tell you what, that guy has no fear at all of losing. Just gets after that, and that's just kind of the example that us as young wrestlers, or, you know, even growing up, you look at someone like that and you say, you know, that's the way I need to wrestle,
right,
to be successful, and I'm still learning how to do it. You know, there's a lot of All-Americans that are still learning how to do it. It's one of the biggest battles that you face as a wrestler, just not even worrying about losing. It's just the fact about winning is the biggest idea that you need to do, or just scoring points.
Yeah.
And that's what the coaches do a good job of. They say, you know, the only thing you have to worry about is just wrestling hard.
Sure.
And if you're wrestling hard, you're going to have a good match, but, you know, you worry about all those other things. It just goes down. It's bad for you.
Absolutely. What's your you brought? I don't know if it's still your favorite move. What's your favorite move on the mat? I mean, one that you think you're hoping you could hit, and if you do, it's going to be a good day for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm known for the inside out. Just it's a leg ride, and I'm pretty mean with it. And I'll take your face off with it. So that's what I'm known for.
Because I mean, watching, you know, the Hammonds wrestle, like, there's a lot of rolls and things going on. I know your brother had all kind. You'd think, like, when I watched your brother, you'd think he was done, and then all of a sudden it's like something happens, he's rolling, and all of a sudden he's got the pin, and you're like, what just happened? He was done. I mean, do you have a little bit of that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably a little bit more of a master of it.
Yeah.
He's longer for his weight. But I kind of thrive in other areas, like the inside out. But Bryce is a great leg rider as well.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, again, that comes from our dad teaching us how to do that. But yeah, I like scrambling a lot. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. I think last year guys' match at Stanford or something? I think he actually kind of helped hold on. You win that thing, and it was like you thought it was over. I'm like, oh man, he's done.
Yeah.
And then it just boom, he wins the match.
I'll tell you what, he goes out there and he got put on his back
with
a headlock. Same guy that headlocked me in high school. And I said, man, That sucks, Bryce. I've been there.
I've been there.
That's what I'm thinking. And man, he stuck it out, and I think he ended up winning by a point.
Yes.
In overtime,
Yep.
something like that, crazy. But and again, the guy looked like he was going to take him down, and Bryce just kind of came up on top and just never died on that one.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that scramble stuff's awesome. Now, academics never been an issue for you. You're a business admin major still?
Yeah, with a concentration in agriculture business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how's that going? Are you going to graduate this year?
No, I've kind of extended it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be graduating next.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I'm a redshirt junior.
Sure.
So yeah, I extended it, and then kind of on my spare time, I'm a substitute teacher for the Panama Buena Vistas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's been nice.
Right, that's cool. What are your plans kind of after college? What would you like to do with your degree?
I'm actually gonna get into farming.
Oh, okay.
I'll be moving up north, and then probably doing a few blueberry seasons in Mexico.
Nice.
That's the plan, but we'll see how that goes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's probably one of the most interesting life goals I've heard from people when I say, what do you want to do? Like, I'm going to go to Mexico and grow blueberries.
Yeah, it's going to be an experience, but I'll take my wife down there and we'll have a good time.
So you'll go down there and like kind of learn how to do it for a couple years and then bring that back to like Northern California or whatever? Or will it grow up there? I don't know what this
it's actually my wife's family's business.
Okay.
They're doing blueberries. It's Family Tree Farm, so check them out.
All right, nice.
They're doing blueberries in Mexico and in Peru, and then they've got a bunch in California starting up here pretty soon. My brother's actually working for them now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in charge of their purchasing account.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. I like it. That's pretty cool. So, so eventually, like anything specific inside of the business you want to do, or
a farm,
just be the guy like out there overseeing it all.
I like being outside, and
and
there's something said about growing food for people. You can take pride in it.
Yeah.
And it's just nowadays too, because of the drought, it's getting tougher and tougher. So they need innovative people in the farming industry, and maybe I can do something like that.
That's awesome, and I'm sure you'll have to like somehow coach wrestling or something, right?
We'll see. I probably need a year or so off of just resting my mind.
Yeah.
I know my brother said once he was done with NCAAs, he goes, man, I slept probably an extra 15 hours a week, and that took 4 months, and then I finally feel like I'm kind of recovering.
Yeah. So there's not like, and that was going to be my next question. Is there some kind of crazy, like when it's all done, I mean, will you be like, man, I have to go and compete? Or will it be the opposite going, all right, now I can maybe take a breath and then figure it out?
Yeah, I think it'll happen a little bit. I'll probably take a few weeks off and then get the urge and need to headbutt someone pretty hard. So I just need that physicality in my life.
Right. Or you'll be like one of those guys down the road who's just like, all right, I got to enter a Masters tournament or something, right? Just to say, hey, I can still do this.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah, because when I'm out of shape, I'm out of shape.
Sure.
And I get out of shape and, I'll throw up or something disgusting like that. We actually had Adam Fierro. I don't remember Adam, but Adam wrestled at the Roadrunner. He wrestled 2 weights up and he did awesome, man. He got to the finals, got second place, but he's a stronger man than I am to be able to do something like that. It's tough.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, no, that's great. Well, good luck to you the rest of the way, and obviously as we get closer to January and then into February and March when it's really crunch time, we'll be paying real close attention. But appreciate your time, and good luck this weekend in Las Vegas.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coleman Hammond here on Roadrunner Rundown, and when we come back, we'll talk with Greg McCall. Got some women's basketball business to talk about. They got Stanford coming up on Thursday. We'll talk with him next. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Screen, Basil, 2 seconds.
What shall I do to put myself by your side? What shall I do to put myself along by your side?
For more than 75 years, Current Schools has been helping local people achieve local dreams. We have watched piggy banks emptied to reward a job well done, supported our teams, and tried our best to make life a little easier. We have been there when friends become parents, buy their family's first car, and build a home with a life to match, just like it was dreamed to be. Beyond dollars and cents is our pride of Kern County and the people who make it such a great place to call home. Together, let's turn more local dreams into realities so we can make life as it should be. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
We strive to achieve excellence through determination and hard work.
We are committed to learning from those around us,
Our professors and peers.
Our coaches and teammates.
And our opponents.
We compete with integrity and passion.
And we seize our moment when the opportunity arises.
We take pride in our communities.
And believe that we can inspire others
just as they can inspire us.
We may wear different colors, but we share the same purpose. We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are
the Western Athletic Conference.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders. From lessons learned during competition, for more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Off the screen, Basil, 2 seconds. Basil for the win!
CSU Bakersfield, champions made here.
What a moment!
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Cole Hammond joining us in the last segment. You can catch the show online at gorunners.com. And Cole, the soon-to-be blueberry farmer. Who'd have thought? That's awesome. We'll have more of that online at gorunners.com. Joined now by CSUB women's basketball head coach Greg McCall. Coach, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
So we're preparing for the upset of the century this week is what we're doing, right?
We are definitely preparing for that. That will definitely be the upset of the century. I think anytime you have an opportunity to play a ranked opponent, anytime you have an opportunity to play Stanford and you compete and you beat them, that's always a really, really good upset.
Yeah, Stanford, 11th in the country now this week? I don't know. The new polls might have came out and changed that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it might be still 11th. They came out 11th, so I'm not for sure if they moved up or down since that time.
And obviously a lot of familiarity with that program. So you're looking at matchups in this thing. What do what favors you? What's going to be a disadvantage for you in this one?
Well, one of the things, they are a tall team. Mm-hmm. They do have a height advantage over us. But we, as far as speed-wise and being athletic, that's something that we have above them. Even though they do, have a couple players that are very athletic, but then there are certain areas where we have an advantage of them in the guard spot.
Yeah, and obviously this is one of the games you got to find a way to stop your daughter. She's having a heck of a year.
Yes.
What's obviously game plan wise, you're still figuring that stuff out. But what is the challenge that a player like her with her that you're proud of as a dad because you taught her all these cool things, but now you got to coach against it. So what are some of the challenges with guarding a player like your daughter Erica?
Well, one of the things I told our players, we just got to outwork her work ethic.
Uh-huh.
That's something that she just brings. Day in and day out, she's going to play hard, extremely hard for 40 minutes. Okay. She might not do all the things correct, but she's going to try to outwork you. She'll outwork you messing up. And so that's one of the things that we're going to have to bring we're going to have to bring our hard hats. Mm-hmm. Cal prepared us for that because those players are very similar to how hard that Erica works, and that's what we're going to have to bring our hard hats that day.
Now, on the other side of things, kind of seeing what the type of player that Erica's become over the last few years as a senior now, and you kind of look at her as dad, you got to be extremely happy with what has kind of transpired out of her college career.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited for her, very happy and proud for her that things are working out the way that we planned on working out. Only time I'm not is just
Thursday.
Just one game.
Just one game. I will not be happy. I will not be proud of her. I will not be none of those things. I will definitely be her enemy that day.
Right. And then, I mean, she also lately, people have been talking WNBA, that kind of stuff. And again, you've been down that road before with daughters. So again, that's got to be something that you got to be excited for her about.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited about it. My oldest daughter, DeWanna, it's so funny because they are so similar, but at the same time, they're a little bit different. But they play pretty much the same, play hard, run the floor hard. One thing about Erica, as soon as DeWanna picked up her footstep, Erica putting hers in. So it's like, I'm matching you. I want to be just like my sister.
That's awesome. And then just to mention this, it's your son Justin just signed his national letter of intent to be a Roadrunner next year. And this is a guy, he's got very successful basketball sisters, and now he's a pretty darn good player himself.
Yeah, I'm very happy and proud of him as well too. He's doing the same exact things. He's following right into everybody's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
They pick theirs up, he's putting his in there, and so it's something that we just kind of, I pride myself with and teaching my kids. Hey, there's nothing wrong with following your sister's footsteps.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with following your other sister's footsteps. So it's something that he's still going to have his own name. He's paved his own way, and he's done a good job of doing those things, but we just got to keep it in the family.
Yeah, and he's going to come to CSUB. You're coaching the women's team. You played here, and so
yes.
So there's I think Coach Barnes's quote was, I think he can be as good as his dad, if not better.
He can be, and he really can be, because he's way more athletic than I ever have been. He can jump as high as I could. He's faster than I am. But the one thing his ceiling is so huge for him.
Yeah.
He has that huge upswing. The same thing like with my other kids, that the ceiling is unlimited for him because he's still so raw in so many areas. He's a young 17-year-old. He should be a junior in high school, and so. But his ceiling is going to be huge, and so he has a lot of things that he'll learn from Coach Barnes and continuing to get from me as well too. So he's gonna be pretty good.
That's awesome. Let's talk about this team right now. You guys 1-4 on the season. A tough schedule though. I mean, again, one of these days, hopefully you guys play a preseason schedule with a little more breathing room. But
yes, and that's something that we're working on. We thought we kind of dialed it down a little bit. We did dial it down a little bit, but it's still a tough schedule. We had a lot of games that we had to return. A lot of people had to return to us, and so this is another one of those tough things that we're trying to get behind us. I think after this Stanford game, it kind of dials down a lot, but we got to get past this one first. And I'm just really excited about the opportunity to play against Stanford and just to have Stanford in our building. And then also, of course, with my daughter. That's just a special moment. I'm very happy and humbled by that moment to be able to have this opportunity to play against her. But it's one game that we definitely were looking forward to. I know she's looking forward to it. She's put it all on Facebook, how many fans she wants to be at the game. And it's going to be a packed house. I know tickets have been being sold by the bulk. So please I think there's some few tickets that are left out there. So please come out, support. Please wear your CSUB gear.
That's right.
Even though you might have a little bit of heartfelt stuff and being a fan of Erica for so many years because she's born and raised here, but come out and support.
Awesome. And then after that, you go to Pacific this Sunday. And, I mean, it kind of gets into that schedule. You don't want to use the term more winnable games, but you have teams that you're more evenly matched with coming up, your Pacifics, Riversides. So that stretch of games before conference start, I mean, how important will that final stretch be maybe after Stanford to prepare you guys for conference play?
Huge. It's really huge. It's us, building confidence as well, too, knowing that we could compete. And we've seen that in spurts of our games against these Pac-12 opponents. A game we thought we should have won was Oregon. We were doing very well, also against Cal in the first half. And with those third quarters have come out and kind of haunted us, and as well as even the games here at home, those third quarters have kind of killed us. And so that's the part that we're trying to overcome, that hurdle of that third quarter and being able to come out and just compete for 40 minutes. And so once we get that down packed, it's just going to be, I think, be smooth sailing from that point on.
You've had some pretty good scorers to start the year. Asia Williams comes to mind. I mean, she's sort of, I want to say come out of nowhere, but just kind of come out of nowhere and really had some monster games. I mean, did you expect her to sort of have this kind of a scoring impact this early in the year?
No, actually we didn't. We knew that she was really good, but we didn't know how good she was going to really be. And she's just one of those players that big games
come on, the lights come on, she shows up. And, she had a couple games where she kind of took, had a tough game where this last game against South Dakota, she only scored 2 points.
Yeah.
Had a rough shooting night. But she's one of those kids that has really generated a lot of offense for us. We look forward to her continuing to generate more offense because we see more and more things come out each and every game. Some of the things that didn't show up in practice, and we knew that she was good, but we didn't ever see it in practice, but we see it in the games.
Yeah, and you got, even though you lose a game Sunday, but Addie Walters got going a little bit from the three, probably her best three-point shooting game. So when you have Asia scoring, Addie starts hitting threes, and you start making teams think about you a little bit more, I mean, that stuff will probably make you better.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the things that we got to be consistent with, too, on the offensive end. We have to be able to get our players scoring more consistently. We have to get Asia to score. We got to get Addie to score. We got to get Erica Williams to score. We got to get Brittany Sims. And once we get those players scoring consistently, you'll see a different team, and it'll be hard to stop us.
Yeah, what have you kind of learned about this squad through these first 6 games or so? Obviously, there was a lot of new faces and new pieces. And so what have you kind of learned about this team through the first 6 games or so?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're very coachable. They compete. They don't stop playing. We have some awesome freshmen that compete extremely hard. One being a starter for us, Kate Takahara. She's done a really good job. But one thing that we have to get better at is being consistent on the scoring. We got to get our players being on the same page because we have one player, Asia, she'll have 30-some points, and then you might have Addie might have a couple points, but then you have Erica Williams might have 2 or 4 points. So once we get them to scoring and letting them understand that they can all get into that 16, 18, 20-point range every game, somewhere around in there, I think it's going to be hard to stop us.
Have you paid any attention to what anyone else in the WAC has done early in this year, or is it still just
always?
Always.
No, always.
So down the road, who's kind of on your mind in conference play already?
Well, we know that the top teams are always going to be New Mexico State and RGV, and so those are the 2 top teams that we're looking at, of course. And then Grand Canyon has really done some damage this year. They've improved their roster, and so they've done a good job. And so we've been watching those schools. Believe it or not, UMKC, they've done a good job in improving their roster. And so we've been watching those schools closely. Seattle has done a good job. They've won some tough games. They've been competitive in a lot of games as well, too. So we've been watching those teams. Utah Valley has kind of taken a downward turn a little bit, along with Chicago State. They're still kind of like right where they are, but those other schools have improved a lot. So it's going to be really competitive again this year.
Yeah, I know coaches always try to say, I'm just focusing on this game, but I know how they are. You guys always got that eye on what's happening with the conference teams and trying to think. So when you get to that point, you are prepared. You're not just trying to prepare for a conference game 2 days before. You have already seen them play a bunch and watched them a little bit. So
yeah, we kind of look at their record, see who they're playing, who their opponent. Because some of the opponents that they've played, we'll be playing as well too.
Sure.
Like Irvine they played a lot of our schools. Pepperdine has played a few of our schools as well too. I think that Cal Poly has played a few of them. So we kind of got some common opponents in hand, and so we just kind of keep an eye out on each other.
All right, Thursday at 7:00, take it on Stanford to the Icardo Center. Let's say for what needs to happen, what needs to happen for the upset for you guys, what needs to kind of fall into place for the Roadrunners on Thursday?
If our top players will be consistently in scoring, and then just continuing to get better defensively, keeping them in front of us, it can be an upset. It can definitely be an upset, and it would be the upset of the century, I believe. For us, it would be in school history. I'm all about making history. So for us to have a top 10 opponent in our building will be something special. I mean, we've come close last year when we had South Carolina down. They were ranked number 2 in the nation at that time, and we were down 4 points with 4 minutes and something to go in the game, and I was smelling blood then. So if we get anywhere close to that and being at home, I think our players can pull it off.
All right, let's hope so, and good luck to you on Thursday. And folks can also watch Thursday's game on the WAC Digital Network. Coach, good to see you, and we'll be talking to you again soon here as the season progresses.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for us, folks, on this edition of Roadrunner Rundown. You missed any portion of the show, get it online at GoRunners.com. Don't forget, you can also get tickets for the women's basketball game coming up Thursday night, and call 654-BLUE. You can also check out GoRunners.com/TIX for ticket information.
It's also Blackout Night.
Blackout Night, that's right. First, is it 200 fans? get a CSUB black T-shirt. Good
yes,
call.
so please wear your black. Please wear your black uniform.
Wear your
shirts.
wear your black stuff tonight on Thursday night, and first 200 fans get a blackout T-shirt as well. Thanks for reminding me on that. And we'll be back next week on the show. We'll have a guest host next week. I'm trying to get the soccer coaches and ties to return with Gary Kernine and Richie Grant. We'll see. I think they might be recruiting, but that might happen as I'll be on the road with men's basketball. But hopefully we can have that on next week's program. And of course, you can get all these shows anytime at GoRunners.com. Follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners, on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics. And again, hot stove dinner tickets are available too. They just announced today. Dusty Baker, manager of the Washington Nationals, coming to CSUB, coming to Bakersfield for the CSUB hot stove dinner on January 17th at the Kern County Fairgrounds. Visit GoRunners.com for ticket information, and limited to 500, so get yours today. We'll catch you next time, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.
Off the screen, Basil, 2 seconds.